Please be aware that this video may contain minor visual spoilers but won't spoil major plot points.
So my history with RPGs started with Paper Mario and Final Fantasy. These games would pretty much show me what to expect from an RPG. Now whenever I think of that genre, what comes to mind is a massive adventure with difficult challenges and an interesting story with lots of memorable character interactions. But then over the years, the whole RPG thing just kinda started getting stale for me. I would try other RPGs, but personally, many of them just couldn't hold my attention. I think the whole turn-based playstyle just got really old for me, to be honest. No matter what game I would try, they all just had the same issues. Too much grinding, lack of interesting mechanics, lack of interesting stories, and when they did have interesting stories, it was hard for me to get invested due to the game enforcing its uninteresting mechanics. I think it's safe to say that my love for the RPG genre has died out, and I have yet to find a game that would rekindle that love. That is until I came across one game. The game that did it all right. The game that was able to remind me of why I loved the genre in the first place. And that game was Undertale. Shut up, I like Undertale. But then I played Persona 5, and I guess that was alright. It was alright. No, seriously, I was only like super excessively invested in the game from the moment I started a new file. But I'm not gonna lie here, I really just don't like RPGs anymore. And knowing that Persona 5 is one was reason enough for me to avoid it. There really was very little in actually getting me to play Persona 5, other than some of you guys. Damon. And so now here I am playing through Persona, and honestly it's probably my favorite Sony title at the moment. In Persona 5, you play as a young boy who gets himself sort of in a lot of trouble because of a decision that he made based on his own conviction, and as a result, gets put on probation and is forced to move to the big city. So then you meet your new surrogate dad and be all like, please take care of me. So then you go to your new school to meet your new principal and your new teacher, find out that everyone hates you because of your record now, and your new dad scolds you for your life choices and tells you to go to school on time. So then you set out to go to school on time and live a normal, boring life that's obviously adequate for a good video game, and then this happens.
You want me to give you a ride to school?
Sure, thank you.
And then you meet Ryuji and go to school, but instead of the school being there, a castle happens. Kinda hard to go to school on time when it's replaced by a castle. So while you and your new friend are trying to make sense of what's going on, you get ambushed by these things, which are not school staff, and they lock you up in a prison cell. And it's here when you realize you're not making it to school on time. Oh, and the dude that stole your girl is here, and yeah, he's a creep and wants to kill you. So it was at this very desperate moment that Joker was able to realize his true potential. My new glasses! And so Joker gets this new mask somehow, and it must irritate his face because... And then you get into gameplay, and yeah, it's turn-based, so it sucks. Nah, just kidding. But we'll get to that later. The first few times you enter this castle, it's pretty much just a huge tutorial to get you to understand the game's mechanics. But once you take out the training wheels and get comfortable with the gameplay, the options really start to open up. You meet this cat that helps you by explaining some of the things that's going on. So thanks to him, you learn that you've made your way into this guy's cognitive world, which was formed because of his evil desires. The game has several of these cognitive worlds that are led by several different characters throughout the game. It refers to these worlds as palaces. Palaces are created from one's desires, and what you see inside a palace is a reflection of how they view things in the real world. For example, the owner of this palace sees the school as a place where he has full control, and so the school to him is his castle, and he is the king over it. So as you explore these palaces, you'll find shadows walking around. You can sneak up on these shadows, rip their masks off, and you'll reveal the persona behind the mask, which will trigger a combat sequence. And thank goodness there's no random encounters here. I hate random encounters. The enemies in the game have some of the coolest designs ever. You have this brutal knight dude, this guy with the cool face, menacing owl man, Mandrake, suck your bus. In addition to traditional attacks, you have your long-range weapons, or you can call upon your persona and use an elemental attack, which does require SP. Finding an enemy's weakness and hitting them with it will knock them down and reward you with another turn. You can easily chain a bunch of attacks together and knock every enemy down in a single turn, which will trigger a negotiation sequence where you can acquire an item, some money, or add the enemy you're fighting to your Persona collection. Now you can have your very own sucky anyway. Your personas will level up with you, but you can't carry a persona that's a higher level than you. You can also fuse personas together by sacrificing them to create a stronger persona. But don't worry, they'll be alright, I think. The fighting system is clever because, if you're smart, you can get in and out of battles quickly, but make a mistake, and even some of the weakest enemies can put you in a pretty tight position. Some personas will give you the option to do a physical attack, which will take some health points instead of SP. But honestly, when you're in a palace, your SP is a rare commodity, so using this might not be a bad idea sometimes. But this game has more than just these palaces. When outside these palaces, Joker is forced to live a normal high school life with a cat that tells him to go to bed on time. So remember when I said earlier that other RPGs pretty much showed me what to expect when it came to an RPG? Well, part of that was the huge sprawling worlds that these games had. RPGs to me have always had these huge worlds to explore. Persona 5 doesn't do that, at least not the same way. Persona 5 pretty much has a map layout with a quick transportation system that'll get you anywhere you need to go in seconds. This might seem like it'll take you out of the experience, but it doesn't. If Persona 5 had a huge open area like a lot of other games do, I fully believe that the countless activities that the game has would be easily overlooked. The game is chock full of stuff to do, and it's all placed in front of the player in every possible direction you look. You go here, 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 here. Everywhere you look, you can visit. It really just makes me question why there's even a push for open world these days. Persona 5 benefits from this type of structure because it always has the player doing something meaningful. You wanna watch a movie? Go watch a movie. You wanna get this bread? Let's get this bread. You wanna watch a movie at home? Go watch a movie at home. You wanna study for school? Then let's have the most intense video game study session you will ever have in your entire life. You can fulfill your kinky desires by becoming a guinea pig for a gothic doctor who works for herself and probably shouldn't be trusted. Persona 5 works off of a calendar system, so each time you participate in an activity, such as studying or hanging out with someone, it makes time go by. This might sound uninteresting at first, and if you were to tell me this before I started playing Persona, I probably would be turned off from playing the game, but this actually encourages you to participate in activities rather than just straight up playing through the story. It also makes everything you do much more meaningful, as time is not free in this game. Persona 5 has this star grid system that allows you to level up Joker's personality traits that improve his skills overall as a person. Some activities may be locked until you meet the required level for a specific stat. While this might seem like a grind at times, it really just works seamlessly while interacting with the world, and only really serves as a way to space out all of your activities. Sure, it might seem like you're just going through the motions sometimes, when you're bathing on certain days just to get charm up or something, but it's all part of the whole story of Persona, and it's there to make the player feel more like they're a part of the character that they're playing as. You also have this confidant system that encourages you to interact with the characters around the world. Throughout the game, you'll meet various different people who you interact with, and you'll be encouraged to spend time with them, and in doing so, your confidant with that person will level up. And you'll also usually get rewarded according to what kind of service that person chooses to provide you. I will say there were times that I was actually confused because the game said that my bond with a character wouldn't get stronger, so I thought it would just be a waste of time trying to hang out with that person. I kept trying to level up my confidant with Sakura, but it kept telling me that my bond wouldn't get any stronger, and I just didn't know what I was doing wrong. Why won't you love me, Sakura? Why won't you love me? But turns out you just have to bond with them anyway to build up that next level bonding. Could've worded that better, game. But the interactions with the various characters in this game are not at all meaningless. They don't feel like side quests in any way. Everyone has fleshed out stories and feel like they actually have a place in this world. There's no padding going on here, at least it doesn't feel like it. It's easy to just get invested in each person's story, as it'll either give you a chuckle at times or throw some sort of plot twist revealing their backstory, which really just makes you want to help them out. These confident quests are honestly just as good as the main story. I guess what I'm trying to say here is Makoto Nijima is best waifu.